Hey guys, so I might be spending too much time around my computer because my girlfriend gave me a shopping list and she had segmented what I needed to go to the pharmacy for and what I needed to go to the store for. And on the store it said that I needed to get these vitamins, right? And as I was in the pharmacy, I saw the tablets there, but my brain didn't really register that I could buy those exact same brand tablets or vitamins in the pharmacy. So I went to the store and I didn't find them there, and then now I'm here at home and I have no vitamins. So that's going to be fun to explain, because she had said that they were supposed to be in the store and not in the pharmacy, so I can't buy the same thing in the pharmacy. Sorry, let's get into it. So what we're going to talk about today is boot camps and some information that we have been graced with from the good people at Stackoverflow. So I was reading through the 2018 report and something stood out to me, which I think is fairly interesting. So they had a survey that had statistically shown of 100,000 developers how many people, like the insights basically as to how these boot camps are formulated. And something that you may or may not know is that I've been a very outspoken advocate towards actually getting real formal education as a software developer, because these boot camps and this sort of thing is usually not something that I have a lot of experience with working out. It's something I even go as far as to say some of them are just a pure scam. Not all of them, but some are just a scam that will fool you into believing that you're going to be a software developer in a month or two or whatever ludicrous amount of time some of them tell you that you're going to make it in. So what was interesting about this was that according to the survey, over 45% of all the people who attend these boot camps or have attended these boot camps have professional level experience. They are actually employed developers. So nearly half of all the people who attend these boot camps statistically already work as professional programmers. Now this isn't something that may come as it didn't come as a shock to me, because I know exactly that I knew that this was the case. It may come to a shock as to you guys to hear that that's the amount of people we're talking about here. And then the range on the surveys showed that roughly 16%, give or take, of all the people who had answered the survey had a job once the bootcamp was finished. And then they had a range of time up to, I think it was a year or two, where like the percentages were like in the low, like I think the highest one was like 10% or something after that who got a job after a certain amount of time, and then roughly 8% or something like that never got a job after a boot camp. So if you think about that, just conceptually think about it, this means that more than half of the people that you will meet at these boot camps are already professional level programmers who already have a job, and they're taking this course to enhance their own abilities. They are not beginners. They have and if you look at, because the same report talks about formal education, the statistically most common formal education a program or background education background a programmer has is a bachelor's degree in software engineering, which means that and the range, if you sum up the amount of people who have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD, that makes up for roughly 50% of all of the programmers in the survey. So that's more, it basically is above 50%. So if you think about that, that means that the vast majority of people who take these bootcamp things are already professional software developers who already have a formal education. In theory. Well, that may not be exactly true, but that's what the numbers are virtually saying, as far from my perspective. So this is kind of what I've been trying to tell you guys. I've been trying to tell you that you do not get to be a software developer, which like the in-demand software developers of the world, by going to an education that basically is shorter than what it takes McDonald's to educate one of their employees. That's not how it works, guys. Software development is not the hardest thing in the world, but it's not so easy that it's something that you'll just pick up and then become instantly great at. Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible, because according to, as I said, I've said this previously, it's not impossible to get a job from doing a bootcamp thing, but I'm saying that if you think that you're going to get the sort of education that allows you to just seamlessly move in all areas of the industry, you're kidding yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be a programmer, because you can. You just have to go through the proper channels. You just have to get the correct education. And the correct education is not a bootcamp. You can get high. I have friends. I'll give you a great example of where a bootcamp would probably be the best option. A friend of mine, he's been working in IT support for, I think, 5 years, something like that. And he decided that he doesn't want to be a tech support guy anymore. He wants to do something different. And there's this small consultancy that he found that where he knows some very, very basic JavaScript and some very, very basic shell scripting. And this company specializes in IT support and IT support improvement for really large companies such as Volvo, for example. In other words, what he does for the most part is to help them automate really outdated work processes, so that he uses his very basic coding skill to create small like JavaScript applications or something of that nature in order to kind of create a third-party script that they can add into one of their workflows and do some part of their work. That is something that I absolutely, I've been talking to him and his co-workers, and like that's the sort of background, or rather that's the sort of coding skill level that somebody with a background which just is basically a bootcamp can get into, because it's not hardcore major league programming. It's programming, but not at the level that Google and Facebook and these super companies do. Most IT companies who work with real industry will require you to have at least a bachelor's degree. But as I said, if you just want a job doing coding, that's probably something along the lines of where you're going to find yourself. You can also work for like I have friends who work they work at design companies, and they do like prototypes, stuff of that nature. Things that are what a seasoned veteran programmer would call basic stuff. Things that are it's not the sort of thing that is going to put you in the same bucket as hardcore software developers. It's going to be programming, but it's not going to be professional grade software. But as I said, that's just what I took away from this little report, and I'm very happy that Stackoverflow released this, because I encourage you to have a look at it, because these are the closest things to facts that you're going to find. And if you're ever in doubt as to what the requirements are or what's expected of you in the workforce, go to whatever website that you use to find jobs in your region, and just look at the requirements, because they are stated, and most of them will state things such as minimum requirements for the applicant, and that's going to tell you exactly what you need. But I found it very interesting to see that almost 50% of everybody who goes to a bootcamp is already a professional software developer. Think about that next time somebody tells you that they have a bootcamp that's going to make you a software developer in 2 months. Have a great day.